Today on Great Day Houston, tired of freckles and age spots? We'll introduce you to a revolutionary new way to wipe them out in a flash.
And now, live from the Channel 11 studios, it's Great Day Houston. And here's your host, Whitney Casey.
And have you been soaking up freckles while soaking up all that sun? We'll show you how to wipe them away in a flash. And then still to come, how to get rid of those age spots, moles, warts. It's a shocking treatment. We'll show you how it's done coming up. Anyway, well, you stick with us, because if you've been frying in this summer sun, you've probably been churning out some major freckles. It's a freckle factory here, and we're going to introduce you to the ultimate freckle fryer. It wipes out freckles next. Welcome back. Well, chances are you've probably been out in the sun this summer, especially if you've been here or going anywhere for 4th of July, and you've probably not been enjoying all those unwanted after effects of sun, like freckles. So, Dr. Richard LeConey is here with us to give us the latest treatment, saying bye-bye to all of those freckles in a flash. And Paula Cobb, his patient, is here, and of course, his lovely wife and assistant, Dana, who is working on Paula right now. So, okay. Let's go through this a little bit. You're telling me that, okay, first of all, we're looking at Paula. She's got a sunspot or a freckle or a mole. Right. What is that?
Actually, what you have here is a very typical lesion that occurs in the skin as we get older. It's called a seborrheic keratosis. And frequently, people beyond the age of 40 have half a dozen of these. And as you get older, you may have dozens of them. Okay. It's one of the most common occurrences of the skin as we get older.
How do we avoid that first?
Well, this particular one is largely age-related. Some of them are sun-related. This one isn't as much sun-related, but it's still, you know, it's a lesion of the skin that people would like to do something about frequently.
Right. And Paula, you noticed this when? And you wanted to get rid of it?
Oh, probably 2 months ago, I noticed it.
Really? So you hadn't seen it before, and all of a sudden you're looking in the mirror and you're thinking, that's right next to my earring. I don't want that.
No, but at my age, I frequently see them, so I frequently see Dr. LeConey.
Well, I'm glad you're a frequent user. So let's see how this little machine works. Okay, what is she doing? Dana is working on...
Well, she has the handpiece that delivers a very, very low amperage, very high frequency electrical current.
Okay.
This is a technique that's been around for 40 years in simpler form, but with the advent of modern microprocessors, they can get the frequencies up high enough that it gives the current just a very superficial application to the surface of the skin, so it doesn't go deep enough to cause any scarring. So it will actually just remove the lesion by drying it out.
Okay.
Because the technical name for this thing is an electrodesiccator. Desiccator meaning like to dry out.
Okay. So how does that feel, Paul? Do you feel anything? No.
No.
It's just a little bit of pressure from when she's putting.
And sometimes you feel a little stinging.
It feels warmth more than anything.
And so you've had this done before.
Yes.
How do you like the results?
I'm very pleased with the results.
So in a few days, you said how long? In about 10 days or
sometimes
2 weeks?
less than that. Yeah,
okay.
Just 4 or 5 days. It's because what she's done is Dana's done with the tool is drying out to the point where it's just going to flake off, and it may take 5-7 days.
And that's okay. What if it's a mole? It's not dangerous?
Well, certainly,
if it's a mole?
if you apply this is a good technique to use with moles, but you have to be confident of the mole that you're treating. People have dozens and dozens of moles, and obviously, the vast majority are simple, benign, what we call nevus or moles.
Right.
You have to look at them for the characteristics of a benign mole. It's regular, its coloration is regular, its borders are regular. As long as it meets those criteria as a very, very definite normal mole, you can...
Right, I would have looked at Paul. I would have looked at this, Paula, and said, "Oh, that's a mole. Okay, well, You got to have that for the rest of your life.
They can look a little bit like mole seborrheic keratosis.
Okay, so if you're at home and you're looking at yourself in the mirror, best to just go ask your doctor rather than decide, oh, I have to get this removed. I mean, because also, how often, I've always wondered how often you should have your moles checked, because moles change. They're evolving little beings on your body.
Absolutely.
How often should you have them checked?
Well, like a lot of preventive medicine, the best would be about annual exam by a dermatologist.
Okay.
And if a mole is suspicious, you actually look at it with a magnifying glass to look for these characteristics like variations in color, variations in the border. Does it look like it's invading the skin, that kind of thing? Those are the signs of melanoma. Most moles don't have those characteristics, but obviously if there's any doubt, then you biopsy it.
Okay, so does this always work though? Like this will work on Paula's aging spot right there. This will work.
Oh, it'll definitely work on that.
So basically, it'll just sort of
perfect for this.
It's almost like after she does this in 10 days, it'll almost somewhat scab up and then fall off.
Scab up, fall off, right?
And leave it'll leave no scarring.
Generally not. Sometimes a very tiny hypopigmented or light spot.
Lighter spot. So then we need to make sure we put sunscreen.
Absolutely, sunscreen, and if you're doing a whole lot of them, sometimes even dab with a little touch of cortisone.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, you're coming back with us because not only age spots, but those warts. The warts we don't want. The moles we don't want, and all of that. So when you come back, we've got another little treatment that we're going to talk about, right?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so stick with us because, as we said, there's more than one way to fry a freckle. That's right. And then moles and warts. So we've got all the latest options, and we will be right back. Welcome back. We're back here with Dr. Richard LeConey, and as you just saw, we're looking at moles, freckles, all sorts of things right now. We got to wipe them out. It's summer. It's time to be in your bathing suit. So, Dr. LeConey, you've got a new shocking treatment that we're talking about, and his lovely wife Dana is here helping us, and then of course our patient right here, Cindy, and we're looking at Cindy's back. Obviously, Cindy, you're concerned because you had a lot of moles, and you wanted to do something about this, but you didn't know what you could do. So what did you think you could do?
Actually, I'm at a point in my life where I realize I have to start taking care of my skin. I've stopped sunbathing and using sunscreen, and I came to Dr. LeConey and asked what we could do about possibly removing some of them.
And Dr. LeConey, I mean, when I'm looking at her back, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm just going to have freckles and moles. Like, that's just...
genetically, of course, Cindy forms moles, and she's got a number of them. She's also got these little tiny red dots that are called capillary angiomas. And if you can get a close-up on those, they're very different from a mole. They're quite red. It's largely genetic. I've got dozens of them. And in the past, other alternatives were liquid nitrogen, actual excision, which causes scars. As a matter of fact, Cindy has one right here. That was where they tried to remove a mole in the past, and she formed a little scar.
So they actually tried to. You had a mole you didn't
surgical,
like. Oh, really? Was it a melanoma or was it?
It was precancerous. They cut it out and tested it, and I was okay.
And in those cases, you need to do that.
Right.
Okay. But in some of these cases, after she's had her dermatologist check them out, she can actually have them removed this way.
Absolutely. And these are all nice, round, regular moles with a nice, even border. No signs of any suspicious characteristics. And, of course, the little cherry spots, those are,
That's easy to remove? Those little red
all you gotta
capillary
do is,
spots?
you just put that right on it, and you turn it on and put a little electric current, just like you said. It's shocking, but it doesn't really feel
You're not feeling
shocking.
anything?
Frequently,
It's
you feel a little
warm.
buzzing.
It's warm.
Warm, and you've had this done before?
Yes, I've had, I believe, 3 or 4 of the angiomas removed before.
Angiomas, you call them?
The little
an
red.
angioma.
Yeah, angioma.
Those are the red spots, right? So you would actually look at you would try to get rid of a lot of those on your back. That's what you want to try to do? That's the goal here?
Yes.
And so in maybe 10 days,
Oh, yeah, in 5-7 days. These will blanch and then be gone. They'll just...
And there's are there any dangers to this?
As you pointed out, probably the only danger is making sure you know what you're treating.
Okay.
So you don't want to obviously treat a cancer. Certainly in most of these things, like the cherry angiomas, the seborrheic keratoses, the warts, skin tags, those there's no doubt about.
Right.
Moles, that's where you have to actually examine the lesion carefully and make sure that you know you're dealing with a mole.
Now, if I go see you, do I need to go see my dermatologist first, or you?
We treat all kinds of aging conditions of the skin, body, everything. So if we if you came and we started treating your skin,
Right.
we saw anything that was suspicious, we would then immediately refer you to a dermatologist for evaluation of that lesion and any others that they might find.
Okay, so then I also want to get to freckles, because Risa, come on over here. Thank you so much, Cindy. Risa has a lot of freckles. Risa, have you been just plagued by freckles since you were a kid?
Ever since I was little.
And what did you think you could do? Did you ever think you could do anything about it?
No, I never thought I could do anything about it, and I saw something on the news about it and thought I should come in because I also scar. I've had to take several mini moles off, and I scar, so I figured, why not try this?
So this works for freckles also?
Yes, for if you have freckles of the face, you might want to have something like an IPL that could cover a wider area.
Right.
But if you have isolated freckles that are standout, and you just would like to get rid of that freckle, you don't need to treat the entire area with an IPL to do that. So this is a nice, quick treatment. Its advantage then is that it's quick, easy. It'll take care of a freckle just as well as liquid nitrogen, and probably with less scarring.
It just seems overwhelming. I mean, she has a lot of freckles on. That'll work for every single one of those?
Well, if in a wide area, then you do something like IPL.
Okay. So you wouldn't take her entire arm and spend this.
Probably not. If she has some really standout freckles, Paula had one on her neck that we were going to look at, but that would be an area where this would be much quicker and easier than treating the whole area.
How much is this going to cost me?
Well, this is very, very inexpensive. I mean, this is just, $25 or something like that.
Do I have to come back or only one treatment?
Usually it's one treatment. Every once in a while you might have to come back and do a kind of a redo just to touch it up. Like a mole, sometimes, you'll catch and just a little bit of it might be left around the edge, so you come back and just touch that again.
That's right.
Quick.
So we want to just underscore, this takes care of a lot of things. You got the warts, the moles, any kind of sort of skin lesion that is safe to treat.
This machine, in its modern form with the microprocessor controlled high frequency, is kind of a workhorse in dermatology. It's all dermatologists use this.
And age
primary care
spots
doctors.
too?
Age spots, again, depending on how widespread. If it's a widespread area, then you just use an IPL. If you just got one or two little spots you want to do, hit it with this.
Well, sounds great. I don't know. How's it going over there?
Pretty good.
It's going pretty good? Well, we'll see. You know what? We need to call you and see how all those freckles are doing in a little bit. Okay, thank you guys all. Risa, Cindy, Dana, thank you so much, Dr. LeConey, for being here. We always love it when you show us these new little inventions. Okay, so stick with us. We got a lot more coming up. That's right, Christina, she's getting us all in line, but in a dancing way? I don't know. We'll find out later. So stick with us. We'll be right back.